What can I say and what can I do besides give Rashad Evans his due props? He went in there and executed his game plan and got the job done against Quentin Rampage Jackson. To my disappointment and embarrassment, because I had Quentin picked like a motherfucker. I had him picked like, yes, this is the one. But deep down, but the only way I figured Rashad to win this fight is by decision, which he did. I knew that he just outworked Quentin Jackson, and I'm afraid that in the future, in Quentin's future, I don't know how he's gonna have to work that foot. Like Rashad is faster. He's moving faster. He's getting things, taking advantage of opportunities quicker. Like, don't get me wrong, Quentin's striking and his wrestling has gotten pretty far, but it's like the whole leg kick situation with Forrest Griffin. Don't just stand in front of your opponent and make work angles, work things out. But this is his first fight back after a long layoff. Not making any excuses for him, of course, but I'm just looking at the reality of it. This is his first fight from a long layoff, making this damn A-Team movie, and now he's saying that it was a lot of stress involved. You know what, Quentin? Let's not even go there, man. Just you were very classy when Rashad beat you, and you just admitted he was a better man that night. If you felt that you weren't ready to take on a Rashad Evans caliber fighter as your first fight back from a long layoff, then perhaps you should have taken a tune-up fight. But I don't know, how that would have worked into your. I don't know what your contract stipulated. So, who knows? Maybe you were forced to take this tough fight. But making no excuses whatsoever, Rashad went in there and got the job done, man. I'm sure Quentin would bounce back from this. I truly hope he does, because I still think he's a great fighter. Perhaps he can take on Forrest Griffin now and try to avenge that loss, depending on where Forrest is at. Speaking of Forrest, I thought about it because he was supposed to be fighting Lil Nogueira on that same card, and Lil Nog better watch out, sleeping on Brills, man. He almost got his ass defeated by a, not to take anything away from Brills, but defeated by a lesser opponent. I don't know if Nogueira took him too lightly, but hopefully he can shake that off and get his mind right and continue to move forward, because Nogueira could look to be. I already look at Nogueira as a contender, but I'm sure they're still trying to build him up. I think that fight with Forrest Griffin would have actually catapulted him into contender status. So, in my opinion, he was already a contender, but the UFC may not classify him as a contender yet until he takes maybe another name opponent. Yeah. Michael Bisping did what he was supposed to do. Like, come on. If he would have lost to Dan Miller, then, in my opinion, his career would have rightfully been over in the UFC. Because Bisping, this is what you're good at. You're supposed to beat the B fighters. You know what I mean? So if you would have lost to him, so maybe you're gonna take another fight with another. You should take another tune-up fight actually before they even try to put you in front of a contender, because you still have a lot of work to do, man. I don't. What is it? Maybe do you not have it to make that crossover, or is it something in your camp? You gotta look at a lot of people's camp sometimes, man. You never know what's going on. Yeah. And taking nothing away from, training camps in Britain, but I think that you to be more well-rounded by dealing with a lot more of the American camps or the Brazilian camps, simply because I believe that you will be more exposed to a lot of the latest and greatest techniques and a lot of, because I don't know, man, because like with Dan Hardy, he's an interesting subject because we're gonna see what he does next. Like can his style evolve from more than just a striker? Can he? And that's the thing with MMA. You have to be more than what your principal discipline is. You have to be able to, adapt to everything. So, but yeah. So now we get to see Rashad versus Shogun. Um, I really think, I hate to speak so soon about against Rashad, but I don't think he's going to be Shogun either. I know I was wrong about Quentin, but I don't think he's going to be Shogun. Hopefully he reevaluated, but I'm giving him he gets the due credit right now because he beat Quentin Jackson for the #1 contendership. But I don't know. Shogun seems to be back, getting back to where he is. The interesting thing about these three men in the UFC, Quentin Jackson, Rashad Evans, and Shogun, is they all catapulted themselves in the UFC or reestablished themselves as a fighter over Chuck Liddell. Quentin knocked him out, Rashad knocked him out, and Shogun knocked him out on his comeback, if you will, of back to form. So that's interesting because now we got Chuck fighting Rich Franklin coming up. I really like and respect both of those fighters, and I think they're, as far as I know from their personality from what I see on the telly, they're good people. You know what I mean? And I hate to see them go in there and fight because I know one of them has to lose, and in a brutal sport as MMA, he's probably not going to lose very pretty. So I think if it's a close, grueling fight, Franklin may be able to pull it out if he keeps it close. Like doesn't give Chuck any room to let off those punches, because if he tries to stand in front of Chuck, I think it will be an early night for Rich Franklin. But we'll talk more about that later. So anyway, big shout out to Rashad Evans. Wasn't my man to pick, but hey, you did your thing. So let's see what you can do against Shogun. This is the Invincible Armor. Peace.